Hello gang, I was going to take some pictures so that I could post them in a forum on the OPE forum on a thread, the Makita Dolmar small saw thread, whatever it's called, because I got these Makita 5600s. Uno, dos. Dos is going to be given away for the month of July here. So that's going to be real soon. I'm going to go ahead and do a giveaway for that. This is the one I had to... Look at that, it's a little bit crooked on there. I did an awful, horrible muffler mod, but you know what? It works. And the threads on the cylinder were screwed up, so I had to re-tap them. So a little bit of modification here. Basically what I'm saying is this is the worst of the two, and I will be giving it away on the channel. So, but it runs stellar, runs great. This one right here I will be keeping, and I'm wanting to do some cool work to it. I have this parts set up, just the power head only, and I wanted to go ahead and dive in there and see what everything looked like. Well, what I found was, in my opinion, absolutely shocking. I can't even believe this is the design. You see that small, because this thing puts out great power, but anyways, you see that tiny amount of room. Let me get a straight edge, maybe something flat. Where's my... Yeah, this will work. It's yellow, at least you'll be able to see it. So, sorry guys, I'm really sorry. That is not much room to feed the fuel into the transfers. That right there is what we call our lower transfers, and that's all you've got, because in the case, if you notice, there are no cutaways. It's completely flat. Normally, most saws have a cutaway right here, and that allows for the fuel to flow up and into the transfers nicely. However, with this one, it's completely flat. Also, the piston, it's not a slab side. I guess it sort of is a little bit, I don't know. But look at that. Whenever it's at bottom dead center, there is like straight up no room. I mean, there's a little bit there, of course, but there's no room to get underneath that piston and up into your transfers. So I'm seeing this and I'm going, my God, that is limited. And this thing is a really sweet running saw that I am quite impressed with. So, what are my questions? Importing this, I'm assuming that the really, really minuscule clearance here and no clearance there leads to a very, 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 very tight crankcase. It doesn't have much volume at all. I mean, there's no volume there, and that is probably what gives it a lot of torque. I don't know. I'm looking for help on this, and I want you guys to answer my questions as best you can. Theorize if you want. Make it clear, though, if you know what you're talking about in the comment, be like, I know what I'm talking about on this. If you're just theorizing like I can do or am doing, then, make that known too, because I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to do a good port job on these. And basically what I'm looking for is, should I leave the cases the way they are and focus on opening up the lower transfers? I haven't done a measurement of the squish band yet. I haven't done that at all. So I don't know. It's got a really nice combustion chamber. Let me show you. Little tiny thing. Where's my flashlight? Ooh, there it is. So I don't know the height of the squish band. I don't know that at all. But what I can tell you is it's got a really small, tight little combustion chamber. So basically, I don't know if I'm going to have to drop the cylinder or if I should drop the cylinder and cut the squish. I don't know. So I'm looking for that answer too. Come on, guys. Come on. Help me out here. Let me know what I should do, what you think I should do, what you know I should do. But if I drop that cylinder, then that's going to close up the lower transfers even further. But yeah, I've been wanting to mess and play with these things. I ordered a 6100 piston and cylinder off of eBay. Got a great deal on it, and I just couldn't deny myself. But I'm wondering if I should. I mean, I'm just assuming that it'll fit. I don't know if it'll even fit on this, but I'm assuming surely it will fit. No problem. They seem to be exactly the same saw with just minor differences. But yeah, so I think I definitely want to try porting this 5600 cylinder. If it works good, because I've got two of them. I've got two. One that's on the saw over there, and then this extra one right here. And if I can do a good job porting them and then just turn around, sell just the piston and cylinder, might be able to make a little bit of money that way, and then use the 6100 cylinder on my saw. But somebody was saying on the OPE forum that the 6100s tend to overpower their clutch. Which, if that's true, boy, that sucks. You know, because I just bought a 6100 cylinder. So anyways, I don't know anything about these much at all, and I have no problem admitting whenever I don't know about something. A lot of times I talk about something and it sounds like I think I know what I'm talking about, but all I'm doing is speculating. That's just the way I talk. I'm a confident guy, you know, but I'm talking about it, and honestly, I don't know anything about these saws. Like one person I think had a problem with me saying that these are farm and ranch saws, which I still think that they are. You know, it's a plastic sort of pseudo clamshell saw. I mean, nobody has ever made a plastic case saw and considered it a professional. This would be a semi-pro saw. I get that it's a closed port cylinder and it's a nice design, it's a nice setup, but I don't think this was ever intended to be in the hands of a professional. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I think, especially the price point, you can still buy one of these Makita 5600s brand new for less than $500. So, you mean to tell me this thing is supposed to be competitive with a 562 XP? I don't think so. I think it's meant to be competitive with a 455 Rancher. And from what I can tell, it blows it out of the water. Does that mean it's professional? No, that just means it's better. That's what I think. Those are just my thoughts, but somebody seemed to have a real problem in the comments whenever I said that this is meant to be a farm and ranch saw. It's called the Ridgeline. It's the Makita EA 5600 Ridgeline. And that's like a farm boss. That's like a 455 or 460 Rancher. I don't think it's meant to be a professional saw. However, there are a lot of professional features that it has, such as, I think it's got captive bar nuts. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it does. But it also has the closed port cylinder setup. Now, this is a Strato design. That's another thing that I'd like to know about. if I just blocked off the upper part right there, if I just kept that closed and negated the entire Strato design on this saw, would that be beneficial? I'm willing to try it, you know? So basically, any kind of info that you guys have out of getting extra performance out of these things, I would love to hear it. And because I don't, everything that I'm going to mess with, I'm just completely shooting in the dark. It's just what I think would be beneficial. Like I said, I haven't ran any numbers or anything like that, but from what I can see with my own eyes and my own knowledge, I'm immediately going, I need to open up those lower transfers in some way. Either I cut the case, either I cut the case right here to give it a little bit of volume for the lower transfers, or I open these up. I take material out of the side right there and open up these lowers. Cut them like that. But I want to hear what you guys have to say, especially if you're watching out there, Randy, Mastermind, because I have read stuff that you build a good 6100. So I would love to have any info that you have, if you're willing to share with me. Port numbers, port timing numbers. Does it really like a timing advance? Keep in mind, this is the 5600, which is the same thing as the Dolmar 550, which I don't think it ever came to the States. Only the Makita 5600 came to the States. And, does it like a timing advance? Does it need to have the squish cut and the base cut so that I can lower the cylinder? Yeah. Basically, any info that you guys can give would be helpful for me. And is there an upgrade to that clutch? Because that's the last thing I want, is to build a nice high horsepower machine and the clutch not be able to transfer that power to the wood. Anyways, thanks guys for listening to me ramble and hopefully answer some of my questions. Another thing too, while I got you, is it right here? Yeah. This is the carb that I took off of it. And it's not super small, but it's kind of small. Is it the same carb? It's got a different part number, I think. If I remember correctly, I looked it up. And the part number for this carburetor versus the part number for the 6100 carburetor, well, two different things. The only numbers I can find on it, ooh, come on, focus. What's that say? There we go, 61. $61,030, and it is a Walbro HD. What can you guys tell me about that carburetor? An HD 61. Is this a carburetor that is very specific to X-Torque type saws, or can this be used and found on other saws? So all sorts of questions. I know nothing about these saws, and I am trying to learn, because it really feels good. So I'm like, yeah, might as well build this and make a cool saw. And one thing I'm pretty disappointed in is you can get a full wrap handle for the 6100, but the 6100's full wrap, the 6100 top handle at all, it comes in, anyway, there's a bend right here, a really steep bend, and I'm not certain if it'll fit with this gas tank. So the gas tank has a different part number than the 6100 gas tank. So will the top handle from a 6100 fit this saw? Because if it does, then I can get a full wrap handle. Because you gotta realize, in this saw right here, actually all three of the saws, I think I got all three of these saws for $120, right? And so that one right there is going to be a giveaway saw, which means I've only got $120 in this saw. That cylinder and the other cylinder have a potential of being ported and polished and sold for probably $200 each, $250 each. I don't know. But so that's going to earn me money right there. And so this saw then drops down to I'm not having any money in it whatsoever. So I can afford to purchase a cool top handle to make this a really, really cool saw. So you see what I'm saying? See what I'm getting at? If I can take that saw right there that I will essentially have nothing in, money-wise, I'll have work, time, but I take that saw and I make it nice, I make it a real killer cool saw, and then I can turn around and sell it for $400 or $500, maybe $700. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how nice it turns out. I got the 6100 cylinder coming. If I port and polish it and put a full wrap handle on it and it looks killer, you know, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with these things. And because it is a really nice saw. Yep, it is. Anyways, that's enough. Big, long, rambling video.